Oh, hello and welcome. I am Manavern, and I will be doing the RBL Season 15 Power Rankings. And with me, joining this time around, we are honored to have Ryu. Welcome. Say hi.
Hi, hi, hello. I'm pleased to be here. I'm looking forward to basically just trash talking everyone, I think is the whole point of this, and seeing how things have gone with everyone's opinions and power rankings. I can see on the screen you brought up the framework, so if you want to talk through that.
Yes. All right. Oops. For this framework, where a survey was made, where every coach was asked to rank all the teams, and the scores that each team got got an average, and the lower average means that you got a higher ranking because someone ranked you 1, 2, 3, and 4, then you get like a lower score than someone who gets ranked last by everyone, ranked 16. Then you will get a high score and rank lower. And there were 16 teams, and our focus today will be to identify the key strategies and potential weaknesses, like what is the team's strength and how do we break them. Me and Ryu will also hopefully provide a bonus wish for each team, which is about what we want to see from each coach during the season. Kind of like a bingo card, so to say. And it is it is a natdex format with megas allowed, and sea crystals, dynamax, and hidden powers are banned. So let's kick us off with the first showcase team, which is last, and it is the Peterborough Paras by yours truly.
Yeah.
Do you want to start us off, or should I?
Yeah. I did say we were going to be talking trash, so I guess we need to talk trash about me first of all. You've got to be able to take it, and everyone clearly rated me fairly low. I got an average score of 12.3, which means I think, rated definitely bottom half of the table by pretty much everyone. I personally rated myself in 16th because I refused to vote on myself. If you remember where you voted me, do you remember?
I think I voted you around 12, 14.
Okay, yeah. I think I so there's a couple of things I guess we should talk about just before we jump in, and that's everyone's going to have their own opinion. Um, it's you know when you're ranking a team like a team of 12 mons, you're perhaps not just ranking the Pokemon themselves. You're maybe ranking them how they match up against your team. You're ranking them by the coach. You're ranking them how well you think the coach can actually play that specific team. This is for the RBL, the Reddit Battle League, and we both joined last season in season 14. Um, but a lot of them have been playing together for an awful long time, and so they obviously know each other quite well, and know how they play as coaches and everything. So I think there's going to be a lot of interesting things there as we move further down the table.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I've been ranked fairly low. One, because I had a pretty dismal showing last season. I did not do great. And two, I've got a horrendous ground weakness. It's not great.
Well, to give you the benefit of the doubt, you do have the Togekiss and you do have the Corviknight, which are excellent switch-ins.
Yeah, and I've got the Tangler and the Time Echo as well, Levitate and a bulky grass type for that Earthquake.
Uh-huh.
But with three of my four heavy hitters being super affected by ground, and one of my strong pivots as well, it's a real problem, and something that I will probably fix. Maybe we'll see how it goes. We've had most of week one games as of recording. I think, haven't we? We've had 7 of 8.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you win yours?
I won mine, yeah. I won against a opponent who was ranked much higher than me, so I take that as a victory on my part.
So you have already proved us wrong. See.
Already proven us wrong. Yes, but we'll see how the rest of the season goes. There's still 9 more weeks left.
Mm-hmm. So,
Um,
uh, one thing that I do want to comment on that I was hit by is that, like, there may be a lot of passive mons, but the mons that in like the Tangela and the Scrafty kind of, as well as the Palossand, um, but I do like that. So the slow bro has you have the conventional thing with like future sight into your fighting type. And even though you don't have like the most premium fighting type, both Zero Aura and Darm, they do hit kind of hard with their superpowers and their CCs.
They do hit kind of hard with the superpowers.
But
and Scrafty as well can surprise you. You know, I've used him in a previous league with some friends, and bulk up Scrafty as well.
yeah, it does. No fairy type, you're gonna lose it, or no pure fairy, especially like the psychic fairies and the rock fairies usually don't fare well against.
I mean, he does get Iron Head as well, and he does get Dragon Dance. That'll surprise you.
Yeah, I know. One thing that my wish for this team, or because Ryu will get a wish for mine later, and that is the Kaimeko, which I have never seen utilized. I want to see it get at least one kill this season.
Well, I did. So last season,
Uh-huh.
I was a lot less experienced at draft leagues, and I picked my tier 5s just randomly what I thought was cool. This time, I've thought about them a little bit more, and I have plans for the Kaimeko. It's not just a meme pick. I hope that I will manage to get that kill for you.
You probably have more plans than the guy who drafted the B-Barrel. But
well, he's one of my good friends, and we'll get to the barrel.
yes, so moving on to the next team then. At number 15, we have the Tacoma Tyrannitars by Toph. And they had not submitted their logo on their team page, and therefore we can't see them here. But I'm sure it will look great when it does come out. So, looking at this team, Ryu, what stands out to you immediately?
What stands out to me is 4 dangerous heavy hitters, just in terms of attack. I mean, I suppose technically one of them is Regigigas, but it's got a lot of power in physical attack, and I mean, just the Hooper Unbound alone in special is crazy. It's perhaps speed tiers maybe a little lacking, the fastest being the Bolt End.
Yeah, they cap a little low, that's true.
But I think it's pretty bulky. It's got a lot of
way bulky.
damage out there. And the Clefable, you cannot count out Clefable. Clefable is just it's something else.
What I do like a lot about this team also is like they have their like kind of fat conventional core with like your Steel Dragon Fairy. But they also got like, if you look at their team, it's a bit hard to spot like the bad mons kind of, like what mons do you exploit. The only ones that I can maybe think of is maybe like Regigigas and Lurantis, because I would not count out like a Masquerain that's gonna quiver dance and maybe lands like a stun spore on you as well. Sets webs.
Absolutely. Choice Frostlass, either special or physical, can do a lot of work. Quagsire and I've just realised Toph has both like the best unaware users in Quagsire and Clefable. You cannot set up versus this team. And you mentioned Lurantis. I really like Lurantis. Contrary plus like Assault Vest or something. It gets a ton of moves. It can surprise you. It can do a lot of damage. The Regigigas as well. Like he's got no mummy user to pair with it or anything like that, but could be pretty dangerous.
Yeah, it can.
I like this team. I think personally, if we look at the rankings, this was ranked at 11.3. I think it's higher than this. I think there's some real threat potential on this team.
So, but to get into weaknesses, so what do you think made it be ranked so low? Because one thing that I noticed was that their fire switch-ins, they basically have Quagsire, right?
Yeah.
And Dragonite, kind of. Because Salazzle is so incredibly squishy. It's not your preferred switch-in.
You're not gonna want to switch in Salazzle to too many attacks. Maybe one, it's not ideal.
And
Quagsire's not got the greatest special defense.
No.
And Dragonite, if you're switching into fire, you don't want to get that thing burned.
And Quagsire also happens to be quite passive, along with Registeel, which can be exploited to a degree.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're quite lucky that Meep traded away their Kiram, which otherwise would click sub, kind of.
Yeah.
But what is your wish for this team? Or
I mean, I always just love seeing Regigigas go ham.
do you?
It doesn't happen very often.
Uh-huh.
I think maybe one of the things I'd like to wish would be not bring Clefable every game, but we'll see how that goes.
Or, yeah, right. My wish is going to be to actually get to. Do we get to see the Regigigas like get rid of its own slow start by in some manner? It's probably gonna be mine. Like I want to see it actually hit something and do damage.
It would be good. Would be good.
Yeah, but I have high expectations for this team actually, and we'll see how it goes.
So, yeah, I think so. 15 is too low for this team.
Mhm. So to compare it to the next team, we have at number 14 the Orlando Corviknights by Quinn. And this is the Dragapult team, everybody. And a tier 4 fortress is one of the big standouts to me personally. Because that is value, ladies and gents.
Yeah, tier 5 Ordino as well. Big value.
Oh yeah, I wanted that.
Same. Snipe.
Oh yeah, you were like right behind me in the draft order as well.
I was right next to you in the draft.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you ever sniped me.
Alright, I think you got me once. I don't remember what.
I might have nicked Slowbro from you.
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. But so they have the Dragavolt and the Mega Magnetic. So we can see that they cap incredibly high on their speed tier and is well compensated with that 109 and 108 Virizion and Alola Ninetales.
Yeah, really, really strong there. I will say, what I think about this team is, while it has the Dragapult, which is, as we know, horrendously broken, it also has the Mew, which is just can be a horrendous threat. I think this team lacks something. The Mega Manectric, I don't think to be that good without hidden power. I think the loss of hidden power absolutely ruined it. I think Mega Manectric was tier 2.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head.
Yeah, it was tier 2.
And I'd say without hidden power, it's probably tier 3. Because it's Heat Wave or Thunderbolt. Right?
Yeah. It's also a matter of, I guess they can run like a bulky Dragapult, but you can argue that there is like a bit of a redundancy with like the 2 speed demons. Like the first one is really good, the second one doesn't provide as much to a team. No. But there's still like, it's still gonna be annoying, like what you Scarf, kind of.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, Virizion can be an absolute deadly Scarfer. Alola Ninetales, even the Absol can do quite a lot of work as Scarfed as well.
Have you seen Virizion? Do you have experience with them on? Because it may end up being one of their primary dark resists, which they can be quite weak to with both the Dragapult and the Mew, kind of.
No, but I've used in a very similar position. I've used what's the steel one?
Cobalion,
yeah. And that put in a lot of work with Dark Resist. That Justified just does a lot of work. And yeah, I think Virizion fulfills much the same role. Also gives a nice sort of ground resist. Not that they need it, but works again with the Mega Manectric and the Rampardos as well. So yeah, I think this is a really well balanced team just in terms of the typing. I don't think they've got any.
They don't have
doubles.
I checked. They have the. Do you mean like the dual weaknesses? Like
no,
shared weaknesses.
They've got the forest. No, I mean like I don't think there's any double types. Like there's
duplicate type.
One of every single one.
Yes, it seems to be. Yeah. I checked a weaknesses and resistances chart, and I don't think they have any like big particular weakness if you look at the team as a whole. What you can find is, as mentioned, like maybe a dark weakness if you consider that they bring Dragapult and Mew every game, which they probably will.
They do have that double Justify. Absol gets Justified as well.
Oh my!
So Virizion and Absol both getting Justified, both being decent Scarfers, getting that +1 attack.
Yeah, something dies.
30 base attack, you know?
Yeah.
That's nasty.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's actually true. Yeah, I didn't think of that. Hey, that's really good actually.
And
Uh,
they've got strong walls, you know. Suicune, and Fortress, both pretty
Mew.
good. Or Dino as well with wish passing.
Mew
Pretty
can
strong.
wall too, probably.
Yeah, absolutely.
What is your wish for this team?
Um, my wish for this team, I want to see maybe a bit of sun sweeping for the Charizard. I know perhaps not the easiest, but sun sweeping Dragon Dance Mew, quite interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And the Drought Charizard, obviously, pretty strong.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how many sun setters they've got, but I think it might be a pretty good bait and switch to bring the Alolan Ninetales and then actually run a sun team.
Yeah. I mean, Charizard can set its own Sunny Day and just like click Solar Beam on the water type that comes in.
Very true. Very true. Oh, wait, no, Charizard. It's Mega Charizard that gets Drought.
But it can say, wait, does R not learn Sunny Day?
No, it must do. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I was thinking of Drought only. Never mind. Yeah. You're right. You're right.
Yeah, they have to be fair about it, but they can.
Yeah, I think it could be fun.
So, Quinn, we want to see the sun. With the Ninetales. Don't fail us. Moving on, we have at number 13, we have St. John's Sharpedos by Cran, or Troy as I know them. Do you want to start us off, or should I?
No, go for it. If you know them, go for it.
Uh-huh. So they started off with the draft with a Mega Lopunny in the last draft seat, the wheel pick. So I wonder if they got lucky or if we did bad. But they got it, and they paired it with the nice and bulky Latias and Skarm to form a Deadly Core with both hazards, and they also back it up with some heavy hitters in Volcanion and Rose Raid. A big thing that I think that a weakness to the team is that they have happen to both carry Shuckle and Pyukumuku, which are two. So we talked about Quagsire and Registeel being passive on Toph's team, right? Do that.
Shuckle and Pyukumuku are so passive in comparison.
Yes, that's even worse.
Yeah.
They also have a slight. They are. I think they may end up being quite reliant on Mimikyu as their like Draco answer. And Mimikyu is not really the one you want to switch in on hazards and like general weaker hits either in general.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, their other dragon like killer is the Rotom Frost, which isn't that fast compared to a lot of the stronger dragons in the league.
It will have to be Scarf.
Yeah, it has to be Scarf, so it doesn't want to switch into rocks. So you've got to worry about the hazards here.
I do think, however, that they will get a lot of like free wins of just like creative tech, because Shuckle and Pyukumuku, while passive, present a lot of gimmick options. And mons that do take advantage of said gimmicks are mons like the Honchkrow and Mega Lopunny of all the mons.
I mean, we've seen Cran's game week 1.
Yeah, the Honchkrow put in work.
He did end up losing, but
yes,
you could see the plan was to like sweep with the Honchkrow and put some serious work in with Sucker Punch. It just couldn't quite work out for them in the end. But yeah, I mean, like the Mimikyu is like the end game sweeper, right?
Yes.
You just damage the opponent's team enough. Mimikyu gets in, sets off a sword stance, and then just kills everything. So
yeah, it's a mini Marshadow.
Yeah, a lot of sweeping potential here. Mega Lopunny as well is very strong in that regard. So a serious amount of sweeping potential.
Yeah, lots of power. We're scared. Is there as for a wish? I think it would be cool to see the like the Alolan Dug trio put in work. I'm not really sure how it will, because it only does much as like an electric immunity. What do you think the Alolan Dugtrio can do for them? Have you used
Well,
it?
I've only ever used it in random battles, and I've always found it severely lacking, unfortunately.
Mm.
I do think, looking at the team,
Mhm.
there is a general fire weakness with Dugtrio, Skarmory, the Rotom Frost, and Roserade all being fairly weak to fire.
Mhm.
Um,
And only the
but
Volcanion and Pyukumuku resisting. Oh, Latias as well.
and Latias as well.
Yeah.
Yes, there are resists for it.
Mhm.
But you know, a decent fire type could put in a lot of work. So actually, what I really want to see is I want to see Cran do well. Just like my wish is just for this team to do well. I ranked him. I'm pretty sure I ranked him top 5.
Mhm.
Um,
I ranked him
so
middle, I think.
yeah. So I would expect. My wish really is to just this team to go off. Get some
Yeah.
serious sweeping potential, and just 6-0 some teams. You know.
Yeah, be flashy. Be flashy about it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's my wish.
Uh-huh. Be flashy. And so shall we move to the next one? Because we
Absolutely.
have
Let's
a
crack on.
yeah. Rolling on with the momentum. We got momentum indeed with the Paradise Infernapes coached by Trinket.
Mm.
So one thing that stood out to me was that while their speed tiers cap a little low, um, they have a lot between 100 and 115 if you look at their speed tiers.
Yeah, absolutely. There's what 6 there that can put in a lot of work. If you haven't got something to beat that, it's going to be real rough. And they've got some excellent Scarfers there as well in the Landotherian,
Infernape.
Infernape, yeah,
And
some
Sarud as
dangerous
well.
things. And the Haxorus setting up with
D-Dance.
D-Dance. So I
And
mean
Swords Dance
that's
Scale Shot as well.
yeah, exactly. So this team, it looks maybe like a middling speed tier in terms of 110, 115, but actually I think it can get a lot faster.
It can. It has the Galvantula for webs too.
Yeah. And that's a big threat if you can't deal with that particularly easily. And the Driftblim, of course, with the Unburden. So actually, that's basically a base 160.
Uh-huh. One thing I do want to note about the team though, as a weakness, is while they do have the Mega Diancie, they only have Empoleon. I think Empoleon, Lando, Skuntank, and Driftblim are their possible hazard removers, right?
Yep.
And I do want to note that with like they have a lot of like U-turn action going on here. Volt switch as well from Galvantula. So if you stop them from defogging, then they will hurt quite a lot by like Stealth Rocks.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I played this team. This is the team that I beat week 1, and I spent a good hour trying to figure out how I could beat that Haxorus if it got set up. And most of my strats revolved around just dealing with hazards and making sure that I had control over that.
Mm. Do you think that how much do you think the Landrus can afford to be offensive on this team, or do you think it will be kind of forced into like a defensive role?
I think you can play it offensively,
Mm-hmm.
but I think, yeah, generally, looking at the defoggers, it's probably Landorus is your best bet there.
They do have the Empoleon.
Which I think is a shame, because the offense... Does Empoleon get Rapid Spin?
It gets
yeah,
defog.
It's a bird, isn't it? Bird, isn't it? Defog. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, okay, yeah, never mind that. Yeah, Empoleon's way better. In that case, yeah, go off Landorus. Damn.
Uh-huh.
But there is a lot of threats here.
Yeah, it is.
Just comes in and just clicks buttons, and you're like, oh, what do I do now?
Yeah, it tends to
Haxorus
do.
setting up. There's a Rude as well with jungle healing and bulk up can do a serious amount of work.
As someone who has played against them, what are your tips for their future opponents?
I mean, I found a very strong steel type and then just dealt with the Infernape and Galvantula. that was my plan. But I think the prep is just make sure you can deal with the setups, either like Nasty Plot Infernape, Bulk Up Zarude or Dragon Dance Haxorus, or equivalent with Sword Dance Scale Shot. And if you can deal with those, you're gonna have a good time.
All right. And what about the wish? My wish is for the Meowstic male to get its own kill once.
Yeah, I think the Meowstic, it came up against me and it was fairly passive, and I think actually, it can do some work. I'd like to see it do that.
Mm-hmm. So, on moving off on that positive note, we have the Newark Noctowls. I think they're pronounced, but coached by Jay. And they sport the Dracovish Coco Core, backed up by Blissey and Mega Slowbro. They got extremes on both sides, both offensively and defensively. So this is actually a team I think I ranked quite low, personally. But that was because of I'm not really a fan of personally Leafeon, Sandslash, Rhyperior, and the Persian. So there were a lot of bad mons, just in general for me. Have you used any of this, and what are your impressions, Ryu?
I've only ever used Coco before.
And man, is it good!
Personally, I hate it.
You do? Oh my god!
Cannot stand them on. I hate using it. I hate playing against it. Just get it out of my team. Awful. I do recognize, however, that it is very good. And the Dracovish. I mean, the Dracovish. It's Dracovish. It's crazy. That thing gets in, and unless you've got Water Absorb or something that can tank it, it's getting a kill. And I think when that picked, I think maybe a lot of people's drafts, when that was picked, sorry, a lot of people's drafts maybe changed
Fat
to
warp
sure that
waters.
to it. Yeah, fat water types, exactly. But yeah, I personally, I like the Alolan Sandslash. Combined with the Vanillux as well, you've got that Hail Sweeper, which can do a lot of work. Rhyperior, I think, is actually a really good mon, and it's one of my favorites to see.
Alright.
But I think this team needs to be played fairly well.
Because it's kind of squishy, or
it's not particularly specially defensive outside of the Blissey, which means that you're putting an awful lot of faith in the Blissey, and if you can beat it, suddenly that special defense weakness just splits it wide open.
Right. And Blissey too tend to be one of the more exploitable mons in the draft format.
Yeah,
it's
got
I've
a lot
heard.
Of good moves, but it does tend to sort of be a little bit one-dimensional sometimes.
Very much credit to Jay actually in his first game, because to narrate for those who didn't watch it, there was a Kirem in the matchup, and they had the foresight to bring a Dazzling Gleam Blissey to actually break those subs that the Kirem set.
I was very worried for Jay, and then they played really, really well. I was really impressed, and I thought that they absolutely deserved the win. It was a little bit.
There were some variants involved, but a win is a win.
Sure.
And I'm sure. Do you have any? So I really want to see as a wish, prove to me that Rhyperior, sell me on Rhyperior, Jay. That's what I want personally.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to see him prove you wrong. If you don't like it, I think it's good. I'd love to see him prove you wrong.
Yeah. Next up, we have, if you want to look about on cores, then here we got Decor with Patrick bringing with the Claire Kingdrass a Zygarde Celesteela core, backed up by a Florges.
And
the team. Yeah.
I mean, Patrick has said that he really had no idea what he was doing. He spent most of his time during the draft seemingly drunk, according to the general chat.
Yeah.
But I think
very entertaining.
Really good mods.
And yes.
His first match was a really
complete victory.
Yeah. Who did he beat?
It was me. It was I.
That was it.
We got to see the potency that is an unprepped for Celesteela, or with it was an all-attacking variant, I think.
Yeah, it was a dangerous thing. I think it went with a beast boosting its own attack, which was very dangerous. I think he didn't bring the Mega Beedrill, which is a shame because I think it's a great mon and I love seeing it. But I think as much as he sort of seems to have picked randomly, I think there's some good synergy here. Zygarde and Celesteela is
great,
very dangerous.
Yeah. They also have the Rotom Wash and Mega Beedrill to like U-turn and Volt Switch. Tornado supports that, and the Aself too.
Yeah,
and then they get in their Medicham and kill something when you're not expecting.
The Runerigus got sniped off me. I was really looking forward to picking that mon, and then Paddy picked it up, and I'm excited to see that. I love Runerigus. I think it's a good mon. And they've got.
What are your wish?
What's my wish? I love a Proteon Kecleon.
I heard a story, I think, it may have been from like an earlier season, where a Kecleon, it gave its ability to our Snorlax, which then clicked Curse and became a Ghost type. And cursed itself, losing 75% HP that turn.
Well, perhaps not the best use. No, because you would have had to use it upon the opponent. Yeah, I'm thinking doubles off the top of my head, but no. Yeah, pretty dangerous. So something along those lines, I'd love to see.
Also, we actually forgot weaknesses. So they have a small gap between 111 and then it goes down to 95. So the base one, like a fat 100 base speed mon, is gonna have a good time, or can end up having one. They also don't have any fire type, which creates. They are very reliant on Celesteela here.
I think the Tornadus gets Heat Wave as well, so both of those can be quite dangerous with fire, but there's no stab. I think they're both special fire as well, so there's not going to be any physical fire attacks off the top of my head. Maybe Medicham gets...
it gets Fire Punch. I looked it up. It kills Scizor.
Oh, really? Damn. Base 60 attack, Medicham kills Scizor? Damn.
Well, it's pure power.
Four times we... Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, 4 times weakness, pure power. Ooh. Yeah, nasty.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, yeah, the lack of a fire type, I think then in that case is probably covered.
Very solid team, Patrick. Drunk you did very good. Be more drunk when drafting.
I would hesitate to recommend drinking more, but I mean, it seems to have worked out for you.
Yeah, good job. Moving on, we have the Bristol Buzzwoles, coached by Meep. And here we have the Slowking teleport into Mega Mawile. One thing that is worthy of note, actually, there may have been other transactions that has been made, but the Kyrium just got replaced by a Spectrier. I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, talking about just the teleport, you've got the Me and Shao U-turn with the regenerator as well.
Yep.
You've got the road to me. This is a pivot-y team. I think Taurus gets U-turn as well off the top of my head, and I'm pretty sure gets turn. So there's this team seems to be all about just bringing in that Mega Mawile, and Mega Mawile just obliterates people. It does.
Yep. Speaking from experience.
Yeah, backed up with the Spectrier now. I think if you don't have a resistance to both of those, this team can just absolutely run over you.
Yeah. This is also one of those teams, like, I think it's quite similar to the Dracovish Coco team that we witnessed, in that, like, it really wants to be offensive and it wants to control the game, and because it does have a few walls, actually, in, like, the Kofag, Slowking, and the Alcremie, and the Cradily. But I would never say that Alcremie, Kofag, and Cradily is the forefront of the team, if we look at it.
No. It's definitely the Mawile and Spectrier.
Yeah.
For sure.
So when you face this, it will probably be a race to the finish line, kind of. Which is going to be very exciting to watch, actually.
Yeah, absolutely.
So from the game that they played, where they lost to Dracovish player,
Yeah.
Jay, I think. I really enjoyed how they got used out of War Turtle. They made momentum.
Yeah, absolutely. I loved seeing that War Turtle put in some serious work. Um, I was a bit disappointed with the Kyurem. I thought sub-toxic Roost Kyurem, I found it kind of
Lame.
lame. Yeah, lame.
In
Lame's
what
a good word.
lame as in not very like? Were you disappointed, or do you think there were more better more potential?
I mean, it's Kyurem. It can do so much work, and I just felt like running sub-toxic Roost on it is just a bit, eh. You know, you've got a Credilli for like sub-toxic synthesis or recover, I think it gets. Um, you've got a Slowking for toxic and slack off and regenerator. I feel like the Kyurem in that sense, it wasn't living up to its potential.
Mm.
But it doesn't matter because they've got rid of it.
Yeah.
So I don't think Spectrier gets Roost. Does get Sub, and actually it probably doesn't get Toxic because it's a Gen 8
No.
and Gen 8.
But it clicks Nasty Plot instead, dude. It's so busted.
That's very true, and I think that's more what I wanted to see from the Kyurem, the sub into damage rather than sub into Toxic.
Mm-hmm. In that case, it seems to be a very solid transaction then.
I think so.
Though we'll see how they'll manage without the dragon type.
Yeah.
As for Wish,
I will say.
Yeah, sorry.
I will say just to talk a little bit about weaknesses. This team also doesn't have a flying type, and the only thing that really resists ground is the Rotom with Levitate.
But Rotom doesn't have recovery as well.
Everything else is either neutral or weak to it.
Aha.
So
be careful.
Click Earthquake, especially if you've got rocks up and that Rotom has got its boots off. Could be dangerous.
Yeah. Most definitely. They will be quite reliant, like, aside from the Rotom. I guess they have, like, Kofag can come in on 1 or 2 Earthquakes.
Yeah.
But it's not gonna be fun when that Bandurus shows up late game, kind of. What are your wish for this?
Well, I think my wish would have been show off the War Turtle, but he's already done that. So
maybe show off the Tauros in that case. Next up.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get some Banders in and just like obliterate people.
Oh yeah, you mean like sheer force Tauros?
Yeah. Sheer force Life Orb Taurus is just.
It gets a lot of coverage too.
Oh yeah. You aren't resisting everything it's brought.
Speaking, but if we want resistances, then I think we found our team. We have St. Andrews Anarif, coached by Rebecca, sporting the Heatran Gliscor core.
That's
a Jellicent with a for the water absorb to go along.
Absolutely. The Alolan Muck having only 1 resistance in the
ground
type. Only 1 weakness in the ground type, backed up by the Gliscor.
Yeah.
Pretty nasty.
It's a tier 2 Gliscor as well. So disgusting.
Pretty disgusting. We have already seen Rebecca's game, I think. She played against TJG.
That's the rain team, right?
That was the rain team.
Spoilers for later.
Get to in a little while. And genuinely, the best game of week 1, by far. A hugely enjoyable game to watch. And I was so certain that the Gingino was scarfed. I think it still was. It's just GGG like up. It was a great play. Losing out purely on a 20% defense drop is it's gotta hurt. But
that's Pokemon.
Yeah, absolutely. But this team is very threatening. Great resistances, great defensive core. And a lot of like mons that you can do an awful lot with. You know, the Slurpuff can be run as a support, but it can also be run as that belly drum damage dealer. The Uxie has got a ridiculous move pool and is a great defensive option. The Lipard with Prankster can do a lot of work.
Yeah.
Some of them are a little bit more static in the
regular
kind of the Sceptile's move pool isn't that great. It kind of either is a sub leech seed one or it's like a specs leaf storm.
Mhm. I do like.
Yes.
I do like the kind of the combination between Regieleki and Sceptile in particular, though. It's similar to like your Coco. It's your budget Tapu Koko and Tapu Bulu on the OU ladder, kind of.
Yeah, absolutely.
And one thing I do want to mention is that aside from Regieleki, their speedy mons don't hit very hard. If you look at Sceptile, it has it sports a 105 special attack, but it doesn't have much coverage. And then we have the Chinchino with its 95 base attack, kind of. So
we did talk about the lack of hidden power hurting Mega Electric. It also definitely hurts that Sceptile as well.
Oh yeah, in general, right. I don't think Mega Sceptile, it did not get drafted, did it?
No, I don't think Mega Sceptile got drafted.
No.
It's a shame because it's a cool mon.
They actually have a small Trick Room theme as well, with like Uxie, Jellicent, and Muck. And the Heracross if they, depending on the opponent's team, kind of.
Yeah, I mean it could do a lot. Well, the Tyrantrum as well, Choice Band Tyrantrum in Trick Room.
Oh god, or just Scarf it and Head Smash away.
Yeah, or Scarf it, you know, you can run it fast, you can run it slow. Plenty of options.
And we have not even talked about the Mega Heracross, kind of, which just sits there and has a tendency to take kills whenever it gets them.
You've got to have an answer to Mega Heracross every single time you prep for this team.
What is your... do you think... what is your wish for this team?
Let's get some explosion. Let's get Regieleki to get an explosion on a opponent that we didn't... that wasn't expecting it. That's what I want.
Oh, so like... on like a... like a water ground type, maybe? For example?
Yeah, like something switches into the Regieleki and it just explodes and just, like, blows it up. That's what I want.
Banded, get the band in.
Banded Regieleki, yeah.
Maybe a life orb. Maybe a life orb.
Base attack.
That's what we want to see. Bring the explosions, more explosion. I think does Heatran get explosion? No.
I don't think so.
Anyway, bring it.
Like Jellicent does, but I could be completely wrong.
If Jellicent gets explosion, I want to see that too. Moving on, we have the Antarctic Monkeys, coached by Metal. Now, from a few of the people I have talked to, like, this is one of the teams that they put in like their top 5 actually.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, he'll be very pleased to know that. I've known Metal for about 12 years now, something like that. 10 years, I think. And putting it in top 5, he'll be very happy with.
Because it does sport like very solid speed tier, caps quite high with the Crobat, and then follows up with Latios, Terrakion, Kartana, which are not bad.
Dangerous.
Very dangerous. They also, if you look at the team, it's not very easy to spot any direct weaknesses.
So I know from talking to him that he was quite worried about his fighting type weakness in terms of the Terrakion, the Umbreon, the Lickitung, the Kartana sort of, and the Barrel.
Yeah.
But actually, like we've done a couple of like scrims it really is not that a problem. Like Crobat, Comfy, it's the Nidoqueen as well. Fighting is not actually a bigger problem as he thought. So while there is a big weakness, it's got huge strengths on the team as well. Looking at it, I'd say perhaps Umbreon and Lickitung kind of do a little bit of the same thing. And they're both weak to fighting, so it's quite easy to prep,
and exploit their defensive core.
Okay, yeah, there's probably going to be a Cleric, and it's
fighting weak.
And it's fighting weak. So, although the secrets here, he is planning to swap the Lickitung. I don't know if he's okay with me revealing that. I don't know if he's done it yet. Actually, I probably shouldn't have said that. Never mind. Never mind.
Well,
Just
I'll hit him up then. I'm sure he will be very pleased with his
I'm sure.
eventual transactions.
But yeah, I mean, he beat he's played his first game and won against Joseph, who is, I think, if you look at his team page, he's put all his past results up in the RBL. Man's never scored less than or lower than 4th place in the season, in the regular season. Won the whole season, I think, twice off the top of my head.
Yeah,
So,
he
a
has a
really
strong
scary
reputation.
Yeah, really scary reputation player, and Metal just beat him in his first season, his first game. He was very pleased with that. And I think it's because he's got a scary team, absolutely.
Yes, this team is going places. I expect us to see in playoffs, and I would not be too surprised if they made a very solid run, even in there, kind of.
Absolutely, yeah. Some very dangerous threats here.
So I'm sure that a lot of or multiple people in this league have great wishes for the B barrel. We have some.
We've run some calcs with the barrel. It can surprisingly put in a lot of work, and I'm really hoping to see it do something this league. That's definitely my wish as well.
My wish is for Nasty Bat Crobat, and I want it to sweep as well, with like Nasty Plot Heatwave.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
The budget torn, kind of.
Sounds good.
And then we have the Minnesota Sea Kings, number 6, coached by Jake, and and he has promised to follow up this video with one of his own. I won't spoil anything. Yes, he has.
I hesitate to ask what kind of video that's going to be, knowing how we picked his team. Oh dear.
So aside from that, if we look at purely the quality of the team, then while it does have a very low average speed, with only the Halucha breaks the above 100 mark, he does have a lot of power. A lot of power.
That is saying something. Power is a definite fact here. The Rillaboom Hawlucha combo is tried, tested, and it
works.
Holy shit, it does so much work.
And then we just slap on the Mamoswine.
With some bulky offense in the Mega Gardevoir, the Mamoswine, the Incineroar, even the Hitmontop. Hitmontop being my absolute favourite mon, and I really wanted to draft it but couldn't quite fit it in. Does work. Miltank does work. The Dusclops, he showed that off before. So bulky. I like this team a lot, even if I don't like how he drafted it.
You don't like how he drafted it?
No, because it was some of the gifts he picked. But I do like the team. I think it's got a lot of power, and it's ranked at number 6 on these power rankings. And I think that's pretty accurate, I'd say. Maybe slightly higher even.
Yeah, I think it's really good actually. It does kind of fall into the thing of like bulky offense, that the teams are usually like, it does not have the greatest like sustain. They have the Vaporeon and the Miltank, and they become very reliant on that. But I do have high expectations. Like, they will trade, and they will trade hard. I only hope that I hope they don't fall victim to a random, like your Scarfed Nidoking kind of.
Every kill on this team that you get against this team brings in a threat that you have to consider.
Yes.
Mamoswine's getting it for free. Mega Gardevoir's getting it for free. The Rillaboom's getting it for free. It's very dangerous. A very strong trading team. Maybe a couple of weaknesses in the Dramper and the Klinklang, the Dragon and Steel type being not the best.
Fighting weak.
Yeah.
They also don't have they do have hazard removal options, but they don't have a grounded poison, so we can T-Spike, or the team switch pack T-Spikers.
and those bulky offenses do not necessarily want to get T-spiked.
Tell me all about it. So what about wishes? I don't think I can wish for him to focus on playing the best that he can, but I can say that if Jake, if you manage to win the league, then you can probably say and write whatever you want in the chat for about an hour or two.
I don't think we have that power, and I don't think the mods would agree with us.
You heard it here first!
My wish purely is that just Hitmontop goes off. It's my favorite draft mon. I love it. I love using it. He already showed his power in week 1, and I just want him to just obliterate people with it. It's my favorite.
I think he would agree. Speaking of, we mentioned the Joseph that is coaching the Minnesota Eon Twins. And man, this is just like this. If you look at this, is one of the more like maybe the most well-rounded team, lacking only one thing, and that is a incredibly high speed cap. But it has so much else going for it. You wanna take us away?
Absolutely dangerous. I mean, Garchomp by itself, you could do so much with it. It's an excellent bandit, excellent Scarfer. It's Stealth Rock. It's absolutely one of those dangerous mons out there. Backed up with a Raikou, a Moltres, and a Feeny. Incredible coverage. Just damage. It's an amazing core for your team, and he's got such great mons on there as well. The Snorlax puts in so much work. Mega Glalie is kind of one note, but that one note is very dangerous. The Shaman and the Kabalion, I love seeing those mons as well. The Spiritomb is such a good mon. There's just so much power and so much threat on this team. And he had what I would say is probably a fairly bad matchup week 1, and he still made Metal work for that win. One small mistake coming out of Volt switching rather than Thunderbolting, and actually, you know, that was
closing out the KO.
Yeah, but it's a very dangerous team.
What do we now? They don't have a grounded poison, similarly to the previous team, but they this time they do sport the Feeny, which can misty terrain a little bit for you.
They've got they've got the Misty Train. They've got double flying types in Moltres and Galarian Articuno. They've got decent switch-ins to steal as well with Kabalion, the Ferroseed. Decent switch-ins to poison with Kabalion, Ferroseed, and Immunity Snorlax. Which I think Immunity does work against T-spikes.
Does Mega Glalie get Rapid Spin? Do you know that?
Yeah, it does, because Glalie gets it.
That would actually that's kind of terrifying actually, because it did not have that in past gens where it was kind of.
I could be thinking of Cryogonal. Hang on, I am thinking of Cryogonal. Sorry, yeah, Glalie does not get Rapid Spin.
All right, but it can explode. Can explode.
It can also do like 70% with an Ice Shard to a Latios, which is pretty nasty.
Yeah, sports that freeze dry too with a base 120 special attack.
Freeze dry is probably one of the best moves in the game, just because of how it works, and so mons that can use it and use it well are
premium.
Very dangerous, in my opinion.
So I have a slightly hard time spotting weaknesses. Maybe like you can argue that there is a knockoff weakness because Tapu Fini doesn't want to get knocked off, or it can.
There's
but
not the best fire type strength. You know, they've got the Moltres and the Garchomp to resist it, but everything else is taking. And I guess Lycanroc Midnight, but you don't really want to be switching.
That's like switching in a Salazzle, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it kind of leaves their fire type switch-ins very predictable. And you know, with one of those switch-ins being, you know, taking 50% from Stealth Rock as well, that's
it's dangerous.
It could definitely be dangerous for sure. Yeah.
And what about wishes? I kind of want to see like. I would just want to see like a sweeper Shaman kind of, because you don't really get to see that.
Shaman with Seed, is it Seed Flare?
Yeah,
Shaman
Seed
gets
Flare.
the 120 base power moves. It's like a
Uh,
80% chance to reduce its the opponent's special defense. It's with because of the
it's the secondary effect, yeah.
it's crazy.
Oh yeah, it has Serene Grace.
Serene Grace. Yeah. So it's 80% rather than 40.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'd love to see Shaman put in some work.
Mhm. All right, so now that we've cracked the top 5, we're going into number 4, the San Francisco Giraffrix, and we have the rain team of the draft.
Yes, there we go.
And
It's gotta happen.
And it's the poster child of all the rain teams at that. Sporting both Mega Swampert, Barraskewda, Zapdos, Pelipper, and Toxicroak, and Quillfish, and Lantern, and Armaldo.
Oh, this team, I am just terrified. I have to play this. I'm in the separate division from TJG, but I have to play this during one of my weeks because of the cross matches.
The crossplay.
I'm not looking forward to it. I'm not looking forward to it at all.
I mean, it's gonna suck for him when all the grass types start clicking Sunny Day. And Toxicroak starts dying.
Yes, very true. But like, he's got great walls to go with it, with the Goodra, the Bronzong,
Zapdos,
the Lantern, with the Volt Absorb, the Zapdos as well. This team is, I don't know how he managed to it seems to get everything that he could possibly want for a rain team.
Yeah, like it is one-dimensional, but they got like the good quality.
Yeah, it's one-dimensional, but it's so strong with that one dimension that, like, what do you do?
Mhm.
You just get wet, I think, and that's kind of your only option.
Yeah, both you and your opponent.
Yeah.
Though, and then weaknesses-wise, like this team will probably suffer same weaknesses as rain teams do. There are those kinds of mons that you really don't want to switch into. I don't think anyone drafted Dracosalt this time around, but like the fast electric types, like a Zeraora, your Zeraora is gonna be a bit annoying.
It's gonna be my one thing that I have to cling to against this team. That and my Tangela.
If you Scarf it, then you're faster than Swampert, probably.
I think so. Actually, I think I don't think I need to Scarf it. I'm just faster than Swampert anyway. Off the top of my head, I could be wrong.
But about wishes for this team, I really want Toxicroak to put in work because I was so looking forward to drafting Toxicroak. I had been like toying around with it on like the OU ladder too.
Yeah.
But if they're gonna take it from me, then I damn hope you do the good job with it.
Yeah, I think Toxicroak's just a cool looking mon.
Yeah.
I want to see it put in some work.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just stick to the rain. Let's see Toxicroak do some stuff as well.
Oh my god, that's actually a good wish. Don't bring rain one week.
Don't bring rain one week, yeah.
I think your opponent will be very pleased too. Courtesy. Now.
Depends who you're playing against here.
Yeah. So, cracking the top 3. Oh my god. It is I, Manaburn.
Yeah.
Should you or should I start?
If you want me to just talk trash first of all, yeah, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, trash me.
Incredibly strong core. Scissor, Hydreigon, Tornadus, great pivot, all 3 of them. Put out some serious damage, very dangerous. You've even got the Galarian Slowking with the Regenerator pivot. Oh, I hate this team. I'm playing it on Wednesday and I'm not looking forward to it. You have done a couple of trades, I think?
Yes.
With the Archeops and the Trevenant.
Yes.
But...
So...
Aerodactyl, I think?
Yes, so I took Aerodactyl because I thought it's just a straight up, like, quality upgrade that I didn't forget.
Yeah.
I forgot about that while drafting. And then Trevenant, so if we look at my speed tiers, then you see that the only monsters that are above 100 right now is Torn and Archeops / Aerodactyl. and we want to get above that with one more mon, so that High Dragon doesn't have to be scarfed every week. So we pick up Kadabra, which is the tier 5's Espeon, kind of,
Yeah.
with a 105 speed and 120 base special attack.
I think that buff to your speed tiers in the Aerodactyl going to 130 over the Archaeopsis 110, I think is really dangerous.
Oh yeah, we heightened the cap too.
Exactly.
Though the team is weak to Celesteela, I can attest to. I lost. It was I who suffered to the weak one Steela.
Well, I'm bringing a steel flying type as well, so
yeah.
I might be bringing a steel flying type. I don't want to give away too much. So we'll see how that turns out.
Yeah. Do you have any wish for this team, Paddy? Or Ryu? Sorry.
My wish for this team, I think, realistically, is let's get an Alola Marowak sweep. You know, I don't know if you've got a Trick Rumor off the top of my head.
Slowking, Galarian Slowking.
Slowking can.
Diancie too.
Yeah, Galarian Slowking, Thick Club, Alola Marowak, Trick Room sweep. That's what I want to see. That thing, I've been prepping for it for this afternoon. No matter what I seem to do, like one of its moves seemed to just kill me with its Thick Club. So I was like, kind of just gonna have to deal with it. Not that I'm suggesting you bring Alola Marowak against me. Please don't bring Alola Marowak against me. Thank you.
I would never. Then runner-up. This was actually maybe the most surprising one to me. Actually, the Miami Dolphins by SFJ. Now this is a player similar to I think Joseph, who they have a minor history with the league as a whole.
I think major history. I think SFJ's been playing for a long time. I think. While personally, if you look at the team, I wouldn't necessarily rate it that high. I think the player is top tier.
All right.
I think SFJ, from what I saw last season, did put some serious work in. I think the team is pretty good in that it's got a couple of shared types and a couple of shared weaknesses off the top of my head, I think. But there's it can do an awful lot of work. And just you can't count out Mega Alakazam.
No. That's like it's one of the top tier. It's one of the top tier megas.
Yeah,
maybe the best, depending on who you ask.
Most often banned, but we have banned it from using Nasty Plot this season.
Yes.
From what? Which I think is a definite must.
And they do pack quite a punch. They do also have like the Primarina Emboar Tangrowth, which is an alright Firewater Grass core.
Gastrodon Tangrowth.
Emboar as well.
Emboar with yeah. I mean it's I think the Firewater Grass really is strong here. The Fairy Steel and Dragon as well. I do like Noivern.
Yeah, Noivern is good. Noivern is good.
I've tried to use it before and it just never seems to work for me. But then, like, I play against it all the time and it just absolutely obliterates me. So, I like it a lot. I just can't seem to get it to work for me.
And they also support like they have a lot of hazard options, or they have a few hazard options. They have the Metagross, they have the Lycanroc, and the Gligar. I'm not a fan how all of them loses to Bulky Waters. As like leads go, but they sport some solid defoggers as well in the like the Gligar. All right, the Gligar carries their hazard control kind of.
Yeah.
And they can spin.
They've also got their Cryogonal with Rapid Spin and a Freeze Dry Mon.
So the Freeze Dry Mon, the check mark.
Yeah. So yeah, but Bulky Waters, there are answers to. But yeah, it's a dangerous thing. The Heliolisk as well. I mean, Heliolisk is just great. I love Heliolisk.
Yeah, Heliolisk is super fun. I was thinking about drafting that also, like as the Speedymon. Do we have is there anyone that you wish to do a lot of work? Because this is like a team where like it's just mons that like they're just annoying to play against.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of mons here that you can do an awful lot with because they've got such, expanded move pools. And I think that's really going to put SFJ in good stead here. I mean, we saw week one, his Metagross, I think Metagross I think it's really mean to put it in tier 3. I think
Alright.
that's an absolute steal. I think it's a great mon, and he showed us in week 1. So I think just show us some absolutely like crazy, just make these lower tier mons look great. I think that's really my wish for SFJ here.
I want to see the crit Rapion. Crit swords focus energy.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be great as well. Yeah, too. True.
And coming in at number 1, we have the Toronto Swablu Jays by Cap. So if you don't get Dragapult, you grab the Mega Gallade, and then you grab Melmetal.
Ooh.
And then you round out the speed with Gren to cap out high, and then Excelgor.
Yeah, some very dangerous speed tiers, some very big threats as well. I mean, Greninja, Mega Gallade, Arcanine, Salamence, Melmetal, just things that just hit hard. Back them up with some very strong defensive options in Galarian Weezing, the Aromatisse, the Electros as well. I love Electros. I think the fact that it has 0 weaknesses is just crazy. Crazy to me. And you've got access to grassy terrain from the Thwacky, which makes you just that little bit bulkier as well. The
It helps the Melmetal a lot.
Pick. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Lick, yeah. Sniped.
It didn't snipe me, but I do know it sniped Mal.
And then the Arcanine too, because he could afford it. It's a tier 2, but
absolutely.
man knows his econ.
I think this is the only team with 3 tier 1s off the top of my head. In the Gallade, Salamence, and Melmetal. I could be wrong there though.
Yeah, we can check that later. I pin it in the comments in that case. But this is just like a very incredibly solid and well-rounded team. It's very similar to like the one Joseph got, I think, except that this one caps a little higher on the speed tier, which is so important.
There's a lot of single types as well, which I think is actually a plus. Cuts down on double weaknesses. The only one there that I can see is the Salamence to Ice.
Yeah, it's the only one.
You've got decent switch-ins to Ice with the Arcanine, the Greninja, and the Melmetal as well. So
yeah, really good job there. Also, one thing though is that they do have a lot of mons at the 29 to 65 speed tier. It shall be interesting to see if it turns out to be a weakness or a strength, in my opinion. If we get to see a Trick Room variant, or if I don't know, maybe we get to see like the Scarf Electros or something. I don't know. A man can dream. But this is all the teams. Is there a final wish for this one? This team, Ryu?
I want to see the Choice Band Licky.
With Ring Out?
I can't remember who bought it last season, but Choice Band Licky. Just combine it with I think it's Steel Roller. Is it Steel Roller? The terrain boosting one. It's great.
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah.
Saw it last season. I want to see it again.
And that is the power rankings that we provide. Are there any final words you want to say, Ryu?
No, I'm just really looking forward to this season. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm ready to show up and not come in 16th, like the power rankings think I might.
Make us proud. Make us proud. And thank all of you for watching. And I will hopefully keep recording and uploading. We are on a good streak so far, and we'll do our best to keep up. But thank you, and thank for the mods for allowing us to do the power rankings. And have a great day.